the world, I think maybe when you started your podcast, everybody kind of was not allowed to move around the world. And then people started speaking online, and now it's kind of like hybrid, and people are seeing the advantages because it's not nice living out of a suitcase, even though you could get, well paid sometimes, and you might get to see different countries. But I know a lot of people are happy that they can actually have a nice speech and then just go back to their normal day of life. But how have you figured out, or what way would you advise people connecting with the audience when you don't really see them? Because I remember I had I don't know, was it a division or district? It was one of the uh podcast or the Toastmasters competitions, and it was online for the change, and it was like I wasn't able to see no one. The only person I could see was like the person that was the moderator, and I could see them laughing, so I know there was, but it was still a very strange scenario, and just kind of, I don't know, it's very hard to know, because like there's times if I'm speaking, I can see how the audience are reacting, and then you can change things, or you can just re-emphasize it or something like that. But it's hard online, and I'm just curious what kind of tips you can give to people when they are speaking to the digital world.
hmm Yeah, it is tricky because we want to see people. And at the same time, when we are online, we want to see the faces and we want them to see our eyes so that we are like we're looking at them. So you don't want to just like look down or
Yeah,
to the
sometimes
side
people have
all the time.
like, even if you're on a podcast, they're doing this, they're looking at the camera, they know, and then they're like that, and it's strange because yeah, it's very hard because if you are looking at the camera, which is like, I mean, you're doing it, and it's the right way to kind of connect, because then people feel like you're talking to them. But then if you want to see how they're reacting, it's like
Yeah.
I see some people, like, I mean, I used to have a small screen, but now I did the split. I do the split screen because I've realized that there's more engagement with the podcast than
Yeah.
speaker view, because people are seeing my reaction, they're seeing your reaction, whether you're laughing, whether you're serious, whatever it is. Whereas if it's just you speaking, and I found that there's way more engagement in doing that. But
Yeah.
when you're on the stage, we don't have, unfortunately, we're not able to kind of avail of that.
Yeah, I know. It's really important to see the reaction. And also for us as a speaker, it's important to see, like you were saying, how people are reacting. And then we could adjust our speech a little bit depending on their whether they're laughing or maybe yes. So sometimes I could see when I'm training, because I've done even just recently the online virtual training, like several sessions. So I have people on my screen, and then if I see that on their faces there's a question, like you can tell by people's facial expression that they either didn't understand or they disagree with you. They're like, and you can see that. And so then I would stop what I'm saying and wait, okay, so John, I see, I'm reading your face, and do you want me to repeat something or do you want me to clarify it? So you want people to understand. That's why we want to read people's expressions. What I do is I kind of what you just said. So I make the screen or the whether it's Zoom or Google Meets or Riverside is what I use sometimes for my podcast recording. So I make it smaller and I bring it up to the camera. Like even for example, right now, you are at the very top, right underneath my camera. So I'm not looking into the camera, I'm looking at you. And it's very, very close. So my eyes are almost in the camera, but I really need to see you so that I speak off of your reaction, and then really it's a conversation. It's not just me looking into the camera, but I want to know how you're reacting to that. And when I have, let's say, 5, 10 people, it's harder when there's 20. That's why I usually don't do more than 20 people if it's like a training, for example. If it's a speech and there are hundreds, I remember I had, what was it once? There were 100 kids, or was it teachers? I actually can't even remember. But yeah, like I couldn't see them. So then I basically would have just a few of them up there near the camera. And then my eyes would be in the camera and they would be mainly on that person who's right underneath the camera. But I will see the rest of them with my peripheral vision. And maybe sometimes every once in a while I would look to the sides and try to see their reaction. But mainly it's the trick of having the screen with those little faces right uh, underneath your camera. and then it kind of solves the problem so it's basically like you're tricking your audience. They think that you're looking into the camera, you're looking at them, but you're doing both. You are seeing their reactions and you are making sure that they see your eyes.